Of course, we meet our patients one patient at a time, one individual at a time. But one of the main premises, the main tenets of Rowe Chiropractic Office is lifetime family wellness. Now, we don't think that subluxations are necessarily genetically transferred, but they're absolutely generational patterns that get expressed through families. Children mimic and mirror the adults in their lives. It's a survival mechanism. It makes connection, but they also means that they will mimic and mirror the postural misalignments of the adults in their lives, their parents, their grandparents, their siblings. We see generational patterns recurring in terms of subluxation. And one of Rowe Chiropractic's greatest goals is to help families break generational patterns. If we correct one family member's subluxation, that person will function better, but they will still be influencing by the other family members in terms of posture. If we fix the whole family, if we correct the whole family, then we get a much greater impact. Break generational patterns through lifetime lifestyle corrective chiropractic care. That's the highest calling. Hi, I'm Dr. David Rowe from Rowe Chiropractic Offices, and I'm here with Uwe, dad, and his son Josh, and they've been amazing patients of ours for quite some time, and they've graciously agreed to share their chiropractic story and what chiropractic has meant to them and their overall health and wellness. So welcome, Uwe and Josh, welcome.
Good to be here.
Welcome. Thank you so much, and we really appreciate you guys doing this. So Uwe, when you first came to me, because you were the first patient in the family that came, when you first came, do you remember why you came to see me initially?
Yeah, I remember this very vividly because I had lower back pain. I had been diagnosed with a L5S1 issue. There was continuous pain, more localized to my lower back, not so much into shining into my legs.
Did you get some of you were getting some of
I
that?
got some, but it was mainly my buttocks.
But you were having even a difficult time with your commute to work. So that's right.
Because I used to drive in the car.
Yeah.
And if I could sit less than 60 minutes in the car seat, this was still manageable. But once it got longer, it was really problematic.
And when I first shared with you your x-rays, can you go back that far? Can you think about, like, when you were looking at this, what did you think?
Well, I was surprised, to some extent shocked.
Yeah.
Because I was not aware that my curve, especially the curve on the neck, was deteriorating more than I had ever imagined.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting because I'm not the first doctor you saw for this.
No.
No, absolutely not. But if you will, I'm the first doctor that said, hey, the problem is actually coming from the change in the posture, the change in the mechanics, and that's what's affecting the nerves. So you came in, you became a patient, we started to work together. Was it just breezy, easy correction, or did you have to really work to get correction?
I had to work to do correction.
That's right. Yeah. So, and the better results faster, we talk about the importance of screenings. Can you remember when we went over the x-rays, was it impactful to you?
At the time, I was reluctant to go in the first place, but my dad wanted me to, and I didn't have significant symptoms or pain.
Right.
So it was, okay, I'll do this.
Yeah. So in our model of, like, I go to see the doctor when I have a problem, that's a model that has been in Western healthcare for a long time. This is a different thing that I do. I'm saying, like, let's screen everybody from birth throughout a lifetime to see what's actually happening with their spine. So you came in, and I just caught you during holiday when you were home from school. Then you went away to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And at the time, I think my conception of what medical treatment was, or perhaps should be, was symptom management.
Yeah.
But I had then come home again from school about 8 months later, and then I was symptomatic. I'm a violist, and I had significant tension headaches, and what they called, because I had gotten a full spine MRI, and I went to an orthopedist who laughed me out of his office. He said, nothing's wrong with you. And then the result of the full spine MRI, when I talked to a neurologist, was that you have cervical radiculopathy, which is nerve impingement, basically, in between your C3 and C4. Go live your life. We can't do anything for you. Right. It's not serious. So at that point, I came back. When I say back, I mean I actually finally came back to you.
Yep.
And we began a treatment plan. This chiropractic treatment that you offer flips the nail on the head of what traditional Western medical treatment is that we're preventing the eventuality of not taking care of oneself, which is the symptom that will come. And it requires work, but it's also a jumping off point for me to do self-care and lifestyle management in a healthy way in every other aspect of my life.
Yeah, which is kind of amazing that we actually have the tool to be able to do that. In keeping with our conversation about having incredibly healthy families and breaking generational patterns, let's look at Uwe, the dad, and Josh, the son's x-rays. Now, this is a picture of Uwe. He's facing us. This is his neck. Remember on these, the green line is normal. He's the red line. His head is shifted to the side. We look at that distance, and then we look here in the comparative x-ray taken quite some time later that he's maintained his correction. It's not a full correction, but it's definitely an improvement, and he's maintained it for 3 years of holding his correction. Let's look at this. From C2, the top of the neck, to T7, the middle of the back, if this is the line this way, he went from 26 millimeters to 20. It's a 22% correction. It's not phenomenal, but it's really good. And if he holds that correction, boy, it really gives room for his spinal cord to send messages from brain to body. And then there's another measurement, minus 5.9 to minus 4.9, a 16% correction. Both of these are showing a nice neck improvement. When he came in, what was bothering him most was this debilitating low back pain and sciatica, where he was having trouble commuting. We look at the translation in the low back. Green is normal. He is the red line. Then we look at that he's hold this correction. And boy, this is a much more substantial correction. And what that amount of improvement meant to him is that it dramatically decreased the stress into the leg. Let's look at the numbers on this. From T12, this is the lower mid back, to L5, the very low back. It's supposed to be 0. The line should be straight ahead. He went from 7.2 to 3.6, a nice 50% correction. Fantastic. There's a tilt angle in there that we measure, 3.9 to 2.5, a 35% correction. All of this manifested these improvements as taking stress off of the nerves, the sciatic nerves that go into the legs. He did way, way better. Let's look at Josh's. Josh, as a younger man, made a much more profound correction. This is his initial x-ray. Remember, he came in, he got an x-ray, then he went away to school and didn't do care. Finally came back months later and says, okay, now I'm symptomatic. Now I want to correct it. We look at this. The green line is normal. He's the red line. So we're supposed to have a neck curve like that. That's called the arc of life, because literally the spinal cord has to sit on the inside of that. And if it's a nice curve, it just flows information from brain to body. Energy from brain to body and back again. The body can function perfectly. When we look here, this is the correction. Now, we did an in-office adjustment, a therapeutic exercise routine. He did home traction, in-office traction. Green is normal. He is red. Wow, he made this really nice correction. Let's look at the numbers. The normal curve in the neck should, each vertebra should contribute minus 8 degrees. And we see, though, here in the first x-ray that instead of minus 8 degrees here, it's plus 1.1. And where the curve should be the steepest over here between C2 and C3, which is really where he had his real reversal, that was plus 2.8. Instead of curving this way, it actually was reversed the other way, causing stress on the spinal cord. When we did the corrective care plan, wow, the plus 2.8 went to minus 7.9, a beautiful correction. What's supposed to be minus 8 on C3, C4, which was plus 1.1, went to minus 5.9, a really nice correction. So the most important thing is the reversal, where the spine was going in the wrong direction, causing spinal cord pressure, was putting stress on it. Let's go back to the picture and take a look one more time. This is where the reversal of the neck curve was. That was the original problem. Now, they had taken MRIs of this. They said, yeah, live with it. It's nothing we can really do about it. Well, we can through corrective chiropractic care, and you see now where he's built this beautiful curve. And if he works on it over his lifetime, keeps up open flow from brain to body, he'll be healthy and function normally. And this is how we break generational patterns and have incredibly healthy families. So how are you feeling these days?
I feel my lower back is much better.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I started to develop some neck pain.
Yeah.
Some
and we're talking about over a long,
over years.
Yes, and that was in a way might have even been more difficult for us to find a solution to. And how are you doing with that now?
It's getting gradually better.
Yeah,
but it takes work as well.
So this seems to be one of our themes. Like, this is spinal correction for adults is just that. We are correcting the basic mechanical cause of a problem that's putting stress on our nervous system. Fantastic. So, but in general, it's been a helpful, positive, substantially positive. Josh, like you said, you live in Germany now. Mm-hmm. So when I always know, Dad says to me, like, Josh will be home for 3 weeks in a month. So I know that you're going to be headed for some visits with us. So what's the experience in terms of like you guys working on this project together? You know, I know it's an individual thing, but like, what's the conversation like when, in terms of your experience working on your spine as a family project, if you will, if I could say it like that?
Well, I would say it has developed into some kind of pattern of jointly actually coming and working on our posture and spine to prevent worse things from happening.
And is it encouraging to?
Yeah, it's nice to have him also kind of on this journey with me, because when I fall off and doing my exercise and journey, I will then call him. Well, not because we're chatting anyway, I mention it.
Yeah.
And that's helpful for me to stay back on track, because it helps every aspect of my life to feel better, especially because I am doing a master's now in astrophysics. And if I'm not able to think, then because the headaches are so severe, my thoughts are muddied and I can't really do anything when they were at their worst, at least. So yeah, I was not able to function in my studies.
Yeah. So now that you've got this tool where if I use the tool correctly, I can basically live. I'm not saying that it's perfect bed of roses, but basically I could live pain-free if I do this correctly. But I have to keep up on it. That is one of the themes. We know that.
Well, this is the difficulty, because when the symptoms emerge again in a much milder form, but I have a little tingling in the right of my head, or maybe I have a little twinge in my neck somewhere from the misalignment that's developing from me not doing the deneral and traction, then it's very easy for me to say, okay, let me lay on this thing, let me do the traction. But then after a few weeks, really after a day or two, everything's gone. But then the momentum is there and I keep doing it.
It's funny. Patients will say to me something like, Dr. Rowe, you're trying to get my whole family in here. And I say, I'm trying to get your whole family tree in here. Like the people that came before you, the people that are not even born yet. Like we're trying to break generational patterns, because we know that subluxation, these spinal misalignments, show certain certain family patterning. And if we can change that, if we can break that pattern, then we've got the chance of being as healthy as possible. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else you want to say in terms of that could be helpful to our listeners?
Well, it's definitely a process that's worth exploring, because I think in our life, we experience so much improvement. So it's a great program.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
You shouldn't necessarily expect the progress in this to be linear.
Interesting.
Because initially when I came, I made significant improvements within a few weeks. And then I had plateaued for a few months. Yeah. And then suddenly my cervical curve improved massively. I mean, ironically, to the point that I went from practically no curvature to an overcurve by the C3, C4.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because I was doing the deneral so much. That's right. Then there are adjustments to be made, and it's not linear, and it takes work. That's right. But your life will improve dramatically.
And in a way, it's almost exponential, because the longer we are subluxation free, the healthier we'll get. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.